Live from the YouTubes. It's Sunday, June 23rd. We're almost halfway through the year, and we're doing a live stream today because, daggone it, we've not done one in quite some time. What's going on, Flick fans? Welcome back to the channel. I'm exhausted, man. I just took my dogs for a walk, and one of the neighborhood dogs started chasing mine down the street. Had to pick her up, and it was barking at her, yapping at her. It was a small dog, but it was a threatening dog. Regardless, I'm sweaty. I'm a little tired. I worked an 11-hour wedding yesterday. My friend and I started a video production business, wedding business. We are called BS Productions because my name's Burke. His name is Sam. And it's going well. It's going great. But, man, weddings. Sometimes they last 8 hours. Sometimes they last 14. Yesterday was 11. Not too bad. What's going on, guys? Hey, thank you, everybody, for being here, for being awesome, tuning in, talking movies, talking TV shows. It's June, almost July, and we're going to have our own little best movies of the year, best TV shows of the year, individual videos. But in today's live stream, for all of you who joined in today, because these are special videos, I want to go over that anyway. I just want to talk about what the best things I've seen this year are/is. And I also want to talk a little bit about box office because, oh my God, the numbers for Inside Out 2 are absolutely insane, pure insanity. But before we get into any of that, of course, if you guys haven't subscribe to the podcast, Movie Mode Pod on YouTube, but Movie Mode over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Man, what a great just string of receptions that we've had for each individual podcast episode so far, man. We're already a month into the new pod. We're almost on episode 6, which is insane. And our latest episode just came out over on YouTube and Spotify/Apple. We talked a lot of things. We talked bike riders. We talked our television watching habits, how that's changed over the years. And last week's episode, Star Wars and Disney, where my co-host Ryan and I kind of railed on Disney a little bit. We kind of went hard on them, but then we lined up at the end because we talked about Inside Out 2, and that was awesome. So we're going to talk about all those things. But before we do any of that, for all 50 of yins here, I'm going Pittsburgh mode, yins. Listen, if you guys want to drop a like on today's stream, that would be incredible. We got 40-some people here. We got to get more than 13 likes. That's just the way it's got to be, okay? Dropping a like would be phenomenal. I appreciate it. Love you guys so much. Thanks for being here and tuning in every time we do one of these. But also, Super Chat is the best way to ask me questions, yet I will be trying to answer as many as I possibly can. And of course, if you're brand new, if you want to subscribe, that'd be awesome. But the best way to support these vids is by dropping a like down below. So first of all, did I start the music yet? We got to start the music. We can't leave you guys hanging. A little bit of Night Driving by, don't have the name of the artist, but it's called Night Driving for you guys to play in the background. Let's see who's here today. Let's see if we got some recognizable names. First one in the chat today was Sonic Boom Fan, talking about Rachel's reviews. Happy Sunday, Austin. How are you today? From 80s kid in the 90s. I'm doing great. Doing genuinely great. Feeling good. Really long day yesterday. Long, busy day, but did awesome. Made some friends. Made some money, most importantly. Come on now. Not as much as we should have made, but more importantly, we made, hopefully, and will make that person's wedding day very, very special. Shout out to Allie. That's her wedding was the one that we worked. My question is, why is the Quiet Place poster on the thumbnail? Have you already seen A Quiet Place Day One, Austin? I haven't. It is the movie that I'm most looking forward to this week, tied with Kalki, which is a very cool looking Indian film that I'm super hyped for after watching the trailer. So we're going to be talking about both of those movies this week. But Quiet Place is the big one, obviously, here in the States. So we're going to talk about that. If anything can top Dune 2, it would be either Joker or Nosferatu. Jacob, I saw the Nosferatu trailer. We talked about that extensively over on the Movie Mode podcast. Also, the links for those are in the description down below. We talked extensively about that trailer that we both saw watching Bike Riders, and oh my God, it was incredible. What app did you use for the intro? Simple, Final Cut. Just use Final Cut, put some graphics on the screen, highlighted them, put some music behind it. Very simple. And Motion Array is where I got the music from.
We got a super chat from Evan Hansen. Also love the chain and love the hat. You look like a Chad. He trolls. I hear people say Chad all the time. I don't know what it means because I don't speak young. I speak old. So tell me I look like a square. That would make more sense to me. I know a guy named Chad. He's cool. Evan Hansen. Hey, Evan Hansen. I like the movie. Favorite movie of the year so far is Challenger. So we got our first submission for favorite movie of the year. If you guys want to tell me your favorite movie of the year, I think this is a great place to do that. The best video for that. This and when we do the actual countdown over on my real video that I'm going to post. But yeah, so far we got one vote for Challengers from Evan Hansen. Evan, I would love to know why you enjoyed Challengers. It's definitely 100% really high on my list. I've only felt that way like you walk out knowing you've seen something special. I've only felt that way twice this year. Obviously, Challengers, and then another movie that we will discuss. Austin, will there be a live spoiler discussion for The Acolyte? Probably not live, but Ryan and I, after talking so good about Star Wars last week, we are absolutely over on the Boom Movie Mode podcast going to do an heavy depth spoiler discussion of The Acolyte and kind of our thoughts and feelings, how that's transformed and all the madness and all the chaos, and don't want to lean too heavily into the people that are just spamming 1 stars over on IMDb, but we both do have our fair share of issues going on with Star Wars right now. Let's see. So no, not a live spoiler discussion, but absolutely a podcast, probably a 2+ hour podcast about The Acolyte. So get ready for that. We got things to say. Best movie of the year so far is Megamind versus the Dune Syndicate. You know what? That's great. I hate that movie. Dean in real life. Best. Are we talking Last Stop in Yuma County? Oh, you know, Dean. You know that is absolutely in my top 10 of the year so far. Great film. Really love those low budget independent movies, especially when they come across in a hell or high water, modern Western type of way. That's what Yuma County felt like. I'm a big Jim Cummings guy. I've had recently, within the last couple of weeks, a couple of exchanges with Jim Cummings, and maybe we can get him on the channel one day. I think that would be super fun. I'm a really big fan of his. He follows me on Twitter, so I'd love to get him on the channel, have some great discussions with the man, because he starred and directed in some really impressive independent films, and since he's a friend of the channel, I would love to have him on. But yeah, absolutely in the top 10, 100%. Say it's December 2024. Woo-hoo-hoo! Predict your top 10, Andrew, with the beast of a question. Well, Andrew, it's hard because there are a lot of movies that I haven't seen. I'll just throw some out there. I'd love for Nosferatu to be in the top 10. I'd love for Longlegs to be in the top 10. Dune and Challengers and probably Furiosa, I have a good feeling, are going to end up in the top 10. Man, I mean, you've got some of these Oscar-type movies that I just don't know about. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to be, if they're going to hit. I would love if Joker 2 was good enough to be in my top 10 at the end of the year. I don't know if that's going to be the case. You got some cool, lower budgeted movies that can make a splash at the Oscars. So definitely 3. I think Dune, Challengers, and Furiosa are all 3 going to be in my top 10. But Nosferatu, Longlegs are 2 movies that I have a good feeling could end up in there. But we've got some great animated films. I mean, we've got a Lord of the Rings. Think about this, folks. We got a Lord of the Rings animated film coming out. If that's not at the top 10, I think I'm going to be a little disappointed at the end of the year. And so I'm very excited. I'd have to see a full list of movies. No crazy big name directors other than the Eggers of the world. But I think we could be in for some nice surprises, kind of like a Sing Street or a Coda. When nobody was looking forward to those movies, nobody knew what those movies were going to be, and they came out and just absolutely dominated the conversation, especially on this channel. And I think of Come On, that year. That ended up being my number 1. That and Bo Burnham's Inside, my number 1 and 2 of the year. So really, really enjoyed, talking about those surprise movies. And I have a feeling 2024 is going to have some surprise movies. So, Andrew, great question. Great super chat. Thank you guys so far for the awesome super chats, because we have one more that we're going to talk about from friend of the channel, TJT Reviews. By the way, guys, stick around. We're going to talk box office here in a second, because Inside Out, folks. Inside Out. We're going to analyze it inside and out. And I think this week's movie mode, maybe next week's movie mode, we're going to lean heavily into the box office discussion. So again, movie mode podcast on all your podcasting platforms, links down below. But there's so much to talk about with the box office right now, because 2 weeks ago it was dying, and then it's like, oh, we're pretty good, and then Inside Out comes out, it's like, oh, we're great, and then next week it'll be like, oh, we're dying again. So it's the conversation's up and down. Film Twitter's up and down. They're crazy. I worked out this morning, so 30 grams of protein. You guys ever had this? Shamrock, 30 grams. I mean, look, does it probably have other ingredients that aren't good for me? 100%. But I will take the 30 grams of protein all day, and it's the best tasting protein drink I've ever had in my life. TJT Reviews. What's a movie that you seem to enjoy a lot more than everyone else? I seem to have enjoyed The Bike Riders more than most. I'd give it 5 stars, and my number 3 movie of the year, behind Dune and Furiosa. Okay, TJT. Well, let's pull up the old Letterboxd list. Let me switch this over here. So we got Letterboxd. I'm going to share this tab, and let's see what are some movies that I have a little higher on my list than I would say a lot of people. And we're going to do a little scroll in action here. You like the banner, by the way? You can change banners on Letterboxd now. Are you kidding me? It's freaking awesome, dude. So first off, I think, I mean, Late Night with the Devil got great response. I don't know if it's in people's top 5 at this point in the year. It is in my top 5. I absolutely loved it. Look at how high I have Bad Boys, man. I've got Bad Boys. And by the way, these 5 right here, these 5, I've had them in multiple orders. This is just the current order I have it in. I'm thinking about maybe putting Bike Riders above the greatest hits. But there's an answer right there. The greatest hits. Look, this isn't a movie that people have loved. You can look at the Letterboxd score. I mean, it's pretty good. It's not great. It's a 3.2. I thought this was a really original feeling romance and a little bit of drama mixed in there with a cool little sci-fi concept. I genuinely enjoyed this, I think, more than a lot of people. And this is one of those movies that just kind of hits in the right place. First of all, I love Her from Sing Street, which is a movie we just talked about. But not the time travel, but the traveling to different moments in your life concept was really cool. And I think The Greatest Hits is a movie that's going to be slept on at the end of the year. I genuinely enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of original. And then Hundreds of Beavers. Now, Hundreds of Beavers has gotten great response from a lot of people, but not a lot of people have actually seen this film. And so I encourage you, if you get an opportunity, I believe it's coming out on demand, or maybe it's already out on demand, watch Hundreds of Beavers, because it's genuinely a really good movie. Now, some more movies that a lot of people have in their top films of the year. Now, Civil War is a little divisive, so maybe there's one. Maybe there's one. A little more divisive. I loved it. Hitman's great. That's kind of consensus. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. A lot of people thought it was kind of boring, but most people really enjoyed it. Last Stop on Yuma County. If you've seen it, you've enjoyed it. Inside Out 2, an awesome sequel. And Monkey Man, a movie that was very John Wick-esque that I enjoyed. So no big surprises in my actual top 10. Maybe Civil War and Late Night with the Devil being that high. But overall, you've got some. When you get into those lower films, I thought Ordinary Angels was really good. That one kind of moved me emotionally. Suncoast, really surprising story. Am I Okay? Just came out on HBO. I actually watched this one 2 years ago at a film festival, so that's been high on my list for quite some time. So TJT, really, really good question, really good super chat, and some movies that I definitely like more than other people. We've got Ninth Shinigami, right? I've seen 41 so far. I want to make it more very soon, like Furiosa Bike Riders. Oh, yeah, definitely see Furiosa Bike Riders, all of those films. Some good movies on that list that you haven't seen, so definitely check those out. Inside Out 2 was the best therapy. I absolutely agree with that. Hitman was pretty good. I agree. Civil War disappointed me, so that's when I was talking divisive. It is a little more divisive. Expected better from the director of Ex Machina. Yeah, I think I didn't get what I expected from Civil War, but I really liked what I got. It was very different, very, very different. Evan Hansen says, love Hundreds of Beavers. Yeah, guys, please check that out. That's a movie that I was very late on, but once I saw it, I loved it. I have only seen 38 movies so far. My top 10 is Hundreds of Beavers, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Late Night with the Devil, Suncoast, good movies so far. Hitman, I saw the TV Glow, which I'm actually lower on than a lot of people. Challengers, Furiosa, Perfect Days, nice. That counts as last year for me, very good one. And Dune Part 2, very good list, very good list. I love it. I want to see more lists, guys, or at least just top fives. You want to leave your top five. Have you seen The Watchers? I thought it was a big letdown. Yes, I did see The Watchers, and I will show you where The Watchers is on my list. 64th. Very big letdown. I thought it was a bad movie, to be honest with you. So I'd say it's more than a letdown. I straight up think it's bad. Has he seen A Quiet Place yet, or Max seen? No, but I know when I'm seeing Quiet Place. I'm seeing it Thursday morning. I'm seeing Maxine next Wednesday. So I actually have a screener for Quiet Place, or screening for A Quiet Place on Wednesday, but I'm not driving 3 hours to see a movie I can see Thursday. So it's going to be Thursday for me, probably a Friday review. Somebody said, it's my birthday today. Happy birthday. I'm Jims. I'm JMS. Happy birthday to you, my friend. Let's see. Have you seen Godzilla and Kong? I have. It is somewhere in the middle. I thought it was fun, but fine. Where did I put it here? Maybe a little higher. Yeah, 30th. So not too bad. I mean, it's not a great movie. It's a mediocre movie, but it's a fun time in the theater. It's really entertaining. And that's what matters. That's why I ended up giving it a fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, man. When a movie does what it has to do, even if it's not a great movie, I'm going to give it a positive review all day long. And that's important. Oftentimes, critics are really harsh on movies that have flaws but are still fun. I try to lighten up even movies that I think are really, really flawed. If they provide me entertainment and I have some fun with it, and it's one that I recommend as a theatrical experience, especially lately, I've tried to go a little less hard on movies like that lately. So you see Godzilla and Kong, you see The Beekeeper. Those are two movies that have their flaws, have their issues, but I'm actually absolutely going to recommend them at the end of the day because they do what they're supposed to do, even with the problems. And a lot of people end up enjoying them for sure. All right. We got another super chat, number 4 on the day. So we're at 4 super chats. Thank you all so much for leaving the super chats, dropping the likes, man. We're at 33 likes, 66 viewers. We got to get those likes up, man. Oh, also, I have a cool announcement for you all here in about 3 minutes. So let's do this super chat first. Then I got an announcement, or a possible announcement involving other YouTubers, which is cool. Digging the new setup. Oh, thank you, Podcast Vibes. Yeah, that's kind of why I'm staying here for right now. We're staying here because I really like this spot for Movie Mode Pod. What's your latest favorite Funko acquisition? Mine is the Bob Ross Deadpool. Oh, that's nice. Shape of Soup. That's very nice. I actually got one recently. Let's see if it's over here. I don't think it's over here. I got one recently from Christmas Vacation. I've already had one from Christmas Vacation, but I got a Christmas Vacation pop recently, and it was really cool. My wife found it, ordered it for me without telling me. Come on, you can't ask for a better wife than that. Yeah, I haven't really been on a huge pop kick in a while, man. I've got the pops that I've had, and I still got them over there. They're all just sitting over there looking at me. Sometimes I'll have a full conversation with them, and sometimes they talk back. It's awesome. Don't tell people I said that. But, yeah, I need to get back on my pop kick, man. I'm hoping Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm hoping to get a Wolverine, get a Deadpool, maybe get a variation of the Wolverine with and without the cowl. Got something in my mouth. Would be really cool. So, yeah, I'd love to rock some Deadpool and Wolverine pops. Come on now. Come on. You know we're still doing pops. But I will admit, when Riley was born, I've just gotten less pops because I'm spending more money on her because I love her so daggone much. But I appreciate your comments about the setup. Makes me feel really good about where we're at right now, and we're going to stay here for a little bit. It's also very convenient. Rocky McFly. What's up, channel legend? What has been your favorite horror movie of the past 5 years? Wow. So you've got 5 years to look through. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cheat. And I'm going to go to my Letterboxd list on my phone because I don't want y'all seeing all my Letterboxd lists because I like to reveal those in videos. But let's sort by list name and let's go back to the last 5 years. So we're talking back to 2019, which is important because 2019 had some really good horror movies that have come out. So that year, I mean, The Lighthouse is kind of a horror movie. I wouldn't consider it pure horror. Midsommar was pretty high. Let's go to 2020, and my highest horror movie was The Invisible Man, which again is not full-on horror. 2021, my highest horror movie, I had A Quiet Place Part 2, pretty high. Really nothing that would compete past that. 2022, The Menu, again, kind of a horror, not necessarily. The Northman, not really a horror. Pearl was pretty high on that list. Man, is Pearl my number one horror movie the last several years? Last year, what did I have highest? Talk to Me was really high, man. Yeah, Talk to Me was really high. That's a really good one. I really enjoyed Talk to Me. Genuinely. I haven't had a full horror. I guess Nope was pretty high too. Let's see where I had Nope. Do you guys remember what year that came out? Was it 21? Was it 22? Or was it 20? Oh my gosh, I can't even remember. Let's see. I think it was 22. So where did Nope finish? Yeah, Nope was right behind Pearl. Woo! So I would say Pearl. I would say Nope. I guess last year was Evil Dead Rise too. Let's see where that finished on my list. Fairly high. Yeah, that was pretty high. That was in my top 25. Evil Dead Rise was high, but Talk to Me was just a little bit higher. Now this year, man, guys, I know it's too early to say. I really dug Late Night with the Devil. And I know it's a little cheesy, especially there are some moments, especially that when everything happens at the end, it gets a little cheesy with the special effects, but it's a lower budgeted movie. And the actual ending, the final 3 to 4 minutes, that big series of scenes of Late Night with the Devil was genuinely chilling, and it brought the whole movie together. So I might make an argument that Late Night with the Devil is one of my favorite horror movies of the last 5 years, or is at least big time in that conversation with a Pearl, with a Talk to Me, with a Nope, if you want to count The Lighthouse, it's a little bit of everything. The Lighthouse would absolutely be number one, but it's a little bit of everything, right? It's not just somebody said forgot Hereditary. What year was that? I think that was 2018. I believe that was the year before. Let's see. Yes, that was 2018. So that's technically 6 years, but yeah, I mean, come on, Hereditary was great. And that would be number one. But The Lighthouse, if you want to count The Lighthouse, would also be my number one. So it's a fantastic question from Rocky McFly, channel legend Rocky McFly. I cannot leave that out, guys. I want to talk box office here in a second, but let's see what you all are saying. Prey was a good one. Really enjoyed that. I gave it an 8. Loved Hereditary, but hated the ending. Oh, the ending is silly, but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It's insane. Just like Midsommar. It's absolutely insane. I asked last time, but when are you going to add Dune 2 to your favorites on Letterboxd? I'm not sure, Jake. I'm trying to figure out when I'm going to actually do my YouTube video of my top 100. So whenever I figured that out, I'll probably add it. I want to keep a little bit of mystery to the top 100. Did you see Kinds of Kindness? No, it's a very limited release right now, and no screenings close enough that I wanted to drive to them. So yeah, I'll be waiting until it comes out more widespread, which is next weekend. But again, there's so many movies coming out next weekend. I don't know when I'm going to see it. The earliest next weekend is probably going to be Saturday. So Kinds of Kindness, most likely Saturday for a late Saturday night, Sunday review. Yes, The Lighthouse, Evil Dead. Let's see, another Kinds of Kindness question. Late Night with the Devil is worth a watch. Absolutely. That would be very high on my list. So yeah, if you want to count the Lighthouse as. Yeah, Terrifier 2. That's a really good one. Really good one. Loved Terrifier 2. It's not in my top 20, 25 of those respective years, but it's a very good movie. Five Nights at Freddy's. I wasn't a big fan of Five Nights at Freddy's. I thought that the story was a kind of a mess. And so, maybe the sequel would be better. Smile. That was good. I like Smile. It wasn't in my top movies of those years, but whatever year it was. But yeah, I enjoyed Smile. Barbarian was really good. Barbarian is and I'm sorry I keep scratching my nose. It's itchy. Patrick, itchy. First Omen was okay. Yeah, I like First Omen. That was actually a good one this year. I gave it close to a 7-ish out of 10. Good movie. So, yeah, man, we've had some good reviews. Definitely Pearl, but the Barbarian is close. So, yeah, man, I really want to. Halloween Kills.
So I didn't really like Halloween Kills. I don't know. It was not very good.
Possessor was good. Yeah, Possessor was a good movie. That movie was crazy. Absolutely insane. Let's check on our like count. Let's see how many likes we got. 41, baby. Feeling good. 41. That's great. Thank you guys for the help and the love and the spirit and the happiness. The Lighthouse, the Night House. There you go. I forgot about the Night House. That's a good one. I like the Night House. Oh, here we go. Blade Master. Bingo. Bada bing, bada boom. Midnight freaking Mass. You're right. Not a movie, but I mean, all of those. Follow the House of Usher, Midnight Mass. I really, golly, Mike Flanagan. God, he's so good, man. I hate Halloween Ends. It's so much worse than Kills. Yeah, I just don't think those movies were very good after the first Halloween. Night House is definitely underrated. That was a good one. Okay, so Sonic Boom fan. Can you please tell Rachel's reviews that Walt Dorn, Tom McGrath, and Mike Mitchell aren't greedy businessmen? Sonic Boom fan, you got to talk to somebody else for that. I'm not going to tell her that. I'm not going to tell her that. I'm not going to tell her that. I love Rachel. I'm sure she would love it, though, if you went and told her. So she would absolutely love it if you went and told her. Oh, my God. Anyway, Austin, you're forgetting the greatest film of all time, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Take a minute of your day to acknowledge our great and powerful Pooh. Yeah, so what a great movie. Mm-hmm. What a great film. What a prestige piece of trash the first one is. Now, the sequel was better. Admittedly, the sequel was better, but my God, what a freaking waste of my time that first movie was. Mike Flanagan is taking over The Exorcist. I know, Jacob. I'm freaking pumped, man. Flanagan's just got, from his producing to his directing, he's got a fantastic resume. And so the last Exorcist was shite. And so we want a little bit of an improvement on the next Exorcist. And who better to do it than the horror guy right now? I would consider him the horror guy. You've got Eggers, right? You've got Ari Aster. They're in their own more artistic niche, if you will. Flanagan, he's the horror guy. And so that's where my brain's at right now. Mike Flanagan. I'm always looking forward to the horror movies that he's got coming out. And so we got another question about Rachel's reviews. This is great. Keep them coming. Have we gotten to top 10 yet? Yeah, we've already discussed the top movies of the year. Now, I'm going to do an individual YouTube video after next week. This list could change because next week is crazy. And I've already talked about it at the top of the show. And, you know, when it comes to our pod, movie mode, what we're going to discuss on next week's show, there's so much to talk about because next week has The Bear, every episode, Quiet Place, Kalki, freaking Kevin Costner's Western epic, which I'm actually, you know, and a lot of people aren't excited about it. I'm actually excited about that. I know it's a part one. I know it's 3 hours, whatever. Give me a Western. Yeah, man, it could change a lot after next week. And so when we do that video, you may see some different movies, but right now, this is how the top 10's looking. I get that If is flawed, but there's no way Roadhouse, Godzilla, Kong, One Love, Abigail, Self-Reliance, and Beekeeper are better. There's no way all of those movies are better than If. Well, there is a way, and that is my list. And so that's my list is 100% accurate, and if anyone disagrees, they're wrong. Is that what Twitter says? Because that's what it is. Rewatch Ryan. Hey, what's going on, Ryan? My podcast co-host. Boom, movie mode. I've talked about it 5 times today, but I'm going to keep talking about it because it makes me happy. Movie mode. That's my podcast co-host Ryan. What is Ryan wrong about? What can I talk about that Ryan is wrong about? Doesn't like Pixar. What's wrong with you, man? No, he does. He's just not super into it. Please go watch our podcast, man. God, the last 2 episodes have been so much fun to make. So please go check that out. We're having a blast over there. We're being silly. We're such silly gooses. Thank you, Ryan. Ryan told Rachel, hey, Sonic Boom, no worries. Ryan got this taken care of. So he told Rachel, ministry is too high. How dare you talk about my ministry of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Chris Stuckman is making a movie. Guys, please don't take me seriously. Anything I say. Don't take anything I say seriously. I love my wife. What do? Do you take that seriously? Was I telling the truth just now? It's for you to figure out. Chris Stuckman is making a movie, I heard, with Mike Flanagan as an executive producer. Yes. And I'm not going to say anything, but I have heard things about that movie, and I know things, at least people's thoughts, on the quality of said film. But that's all I'm going to say. So, but I will say, that aside, the Flanagan thing has me excited. It does. And obviously, as somebody else in the space, somebody that I used to watch, not as much anymore, we're going to be rooting for him, because that's kind of like not carrying a torch or anything, but really just to make that leap into the film industry is exciting, man. It's really exciting. And so I'm excited for Stuckman. I genuinely am. Let's see here. I have bouts, I assume you mean doubts, of A Quiet Place Day One. Yeah, I mean, I hope it's great. I genuinely hope it's great. But I just don't know where they're changing directors. I don't know about the idea of a prequel. I think it's an awesome idea. I hope it's good, but who knows? It's up in the air. So we'll see what happens. Talk to Me is great. It gets me excited for the Chris Stuckman horror movie. Yeah, Talk to Me is great. I really enjoyed that. I think Longlegs will be the best horror movie of 2024 because the trailer is so promising. I'm with you. That's a great trailer. The new Alien movie, love the trailer for that, and Nosferatu, the new trailer for that, which Ryan and I saw in front of bike riders. And again, we extensively talked about it on the podcast, but oh my God, man. Oh my God, the Nosferatu trailer is awesome. I am super excited for that. So holy cow. Yeah. Great trailer. 3 great horror trailers. Horror has been kind of crappy this year, to be honest with you. So let's scroll down. You're going to see a lot of horror movies. Pretty far down my list. You've got Strangers. You've got Tenet. You've got Founders Day. You've got Watchers. You've got Night Swim. You've got, a lot of horror movies. Winnie the Pooh, Blood Honey 2, which is higher than all of them. The irony, and what else? So yeah, I mean, look, they're all in a row too. That was not intentional. Imaginary, that's a horror movie. Megamind, to me, it's a horror movie. So yeah, horror's kind of sucked this year. But I have faith. Late Night with the Devil will not be the only one that is high on my list. Would you hate DreamWorks Animation if they make Megamind 3? No, I'm not going to hate an entire studio over one movie. I mean, if that's the case, I should hate them already because they made Megamind 2 and it's garbage. It's hot, stinky, poo-poo garbage. That's what that movie is. And so if that was the case, I would already hate them. I don't hate them. I think DreamWorks has some amazing projects. Some of my favorite movies of those respective years. Puss in Boots 2 is a spectacular sequel. And so to go from Puss in Boots 2 to Megamind 2 is not only a drastic misstep in quality, but also confusing. I is confused. I don't understand, guys. I don't understand it because Puss in Boots 2 was so great. A wonderful movie. A movie I'm excited to show my daughter when she gets older, man. Older, obviously. But yeah, man, that's so cool about when I see these great animated movies nowadays. The first thing that comes to my mind when I see a great animated movie like an Inside Out 2, I can't wait to show Riley this. And it's funny because the main character in Inside Out is Riley. That's her name. And so I can't wait to show Riley these movies, man. And Inside Out 2 was one of those that really just, I felt that way the second I walked down to the theater. Why don't you rate and click every movie you watch this year? I'm just back and forth on Letterboxd. I sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. I mean, I have so much going on in real life, especially on YouTube and with the podcast, trying to get that off the ground with Ryan. Letterboxd has become more of a background thing, but I still love it. It's by far the best social media out there. By far, not even close. Austin, have you seen the Mean Girls musical? No, I have not. I've heard very mixed things. I've heard some people liked it. I've heard some people absolutely hated it. My brother watched it. He said, yeah, it's not good. So I don't know how to feel about it. We'll see. Have you finished The Boys season 4? What's your favorite episode? Well, I've watched most of the season, and my favorite episode is episode 4, which is one that we've already seen. But yeah, my God, episode 4 is a spectacular episode of television. Twister's going to be good. I hope so.
I hope so.
I really do hope so. I mean, it's just a good, fun-looking summer movie with Glenn Powell, who's a freaking star right now. And so that's one that I think, first of all, is going to be good, but also is going to perform very well at the box office. I'm calling my shot now. I think Twisters will end up being one of the biggest movies of the summer. Mark that down. Not bigger than Inside Out 2. You can mark that down too, but I think it's going to be one of the biggest movies this summer. Austin Burke, thank you for referring to my name. Why do you hate product placement in movies? I don't hate product placement in movies. I think it depends. And guys, my Wi-Fi is telling me my quality is not great right now, so please let me know if it's okay. I don't hate all product placement. I think it depends on how you handle it. If it's in your face and you make no attempt to hide it or do something stylistic around it, or it is just in your face with style, sometimes it can be lame. And when it's obvious without anything to kind of make it less obvious, then I think it's really lame. Some movies handle it well, though, to where you kind of notice it, but not really. And I think that's fine. That doesn't bother me. So just because I say I hate one thing in one movie doesn't mean I hate it in general. You know, like I hated Jennifer Lopez's performance in Atlas. That doesn't mean I hate her performance in everything. That just means I hated her performance in Atlas. So, you know, that's very, don't take specific statements and make them broad, because usually they just apply to one thing. Unless it's me saying, everything about the Mega Man 2 sequel's bad. Well, then it's a broad statement. Then it just means everything in the movie sucked, because it does. Did you like the song Ain't No Love in Oklahoma by Luke Combs and Twisters? You know, I haven't heard that yet, so I can't answer that, but I will listen to it at some point. Thank you for letting me know that. By the way, guys, we're at 53 likes. Holy cow. I keep saying holy cow. I'm doing away with swearing because of my daughter, so holy cow. Because when I watch sports around her, I tend to slip up. Yeah, I have not listened to that. Let's see. I'm not a gigantic fan of the OG Mean Girls, maybe because I knew too many Gina Georges in high school. Yeah, I did too, which I just finished. So the new one was a 6 to the OG 7. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, it doesn't make me want to see it anymore, but I'm definitely by the end of the year hopefully going to watch it. Have you seen any more of that Austin Birkenstein guy? Yeah, so there's somebody on Letterboxd who made an account and called it Austin Birkenstein or Birkenstein. It's like the opposite of it, me, and it's hilarious. So if you're out there, please do more, because that made me smile and I liked it. So please do more. Community's Subway and Honda product placement. That's what I'm saying, man. Sometimes you just got some legit product placements, and then sometimes you got some garbage product placements. And so it really does depend on how you do it. Holy cannoli. Holy cannoli. I love a good cannoli. I had my first cannoli in New York 3 years ago, and it was absolutely spectacular. I've had other cannolis. They're not cannolis. When I had a New York cannoli, that's a cannoli. Like when I had a New York pizza. That's a pizza for the first time. My God. Do you like the In-Betweener, Silicon Valley, and Always Sunny in Philadelphia? I've seen various episodes of Silicon Valley and Always Sunny. I really like them when I watch them, but I haven't seen all of the seasons, all of the episodes of any of those shows. I've actually never seen an episode of the In-Betweeners. So Emoji Movie is product placement. Wait, sorry, I missed it. Emoji Movie is product placement, the movie. Spectacular comment. I completely agree. Sonic with Olive Garden. Yes, that is an example of lame product placement. Are we forgetting about Food Fight? Mr. Clean. Mr. Clean was there to be Mr. Clean. Yes, what a film. What a picture. By the way, guys, if you're here right now, I do want to just real briefly hit on this box office from Inside Out 2. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I actually tweeted about it. Shout out to my Twitter because it's the best Twitter. No, it's not. It's actually the worst. So please don't follow me. I hate everything I tweet. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. 100+ million second weekend for Inside Out 2. So we are currently sitting at, and let's see if Scott Mantz, $724 million for Inside Out 2. Ouch. Why am I hitting my leg? Absolutely spectacular, folks. Movie theaters are dead. No, they're not. Now, we've had some disappointing box office movies this year. And Ryan and I had, I stumbled over my words there. Ryan and I had an amazing discussion a couple of weeks ago on the, here we go one more time, Movie Mode podcast, where I said people don't go to 20, 30 movies anymore. That's just not how it is. It's too expensive. It's too much money. And unless you're rich, you're not going to all these movies, or unless you're a psychopath like me. But if that's the case, there are programs to join, and Regal Movie Club and Cinemark, all these things. So people like to save their money for 5 movies, 6 movies a year. And I'm always curious, what movies are those going to be? This year, one of those movies was proven to be Dune Part 2. A lot of people either saved their money for that or heard that word of mouth and said, you know what, this is going to be one of my films I see this year. Clearly, Inside Out 2 is one of those movies. $724 million. Not only is an impressive 355 domestic total, it's an amazing international total to combine for a movie that is 100% going to hit $1 billion, maybe 1.3, 1.4 billion, and is in the lead currently to be the number 1 movie of the year. The only films that I can see competing with this, Joker 2 is going to compete, but it's not going to pass it. It's R-rated. Deadpool and Wolverine, now that one's R-rated, but that has the MCU factor, that has the Return of Wolverine factor, and if it's good, it's going to have the word of mouth factor. And that's one of the good things about Inside Out 2, right? Sure, it had an amazing opening weekend. It wouldn't have made that much if the first Friday showing said it was bad. It wouldn't have made this much if last weekend's showing said it was bad. So, good word of mouth. That's going to push it towards a bigger box office. And it's clearly proven to be one of those movies that people are going to spend their money on because families, because kids. If my daughter was the right age, I would absolutely 100% take her to the theater to see this movie this weekend. But I'm not going to do that because she's 1 and she'll never remember it. So that's what cracks me up about some people taking their kids when they're like 8 months or a year and 3 months. It's like, dude, they're not going to remember this in 2 years. I hope you're aware of that. Now, some people don't have a choice. Whatever. That's a different train's going off the track here. Regardless, I do think Inside Out 2 is just dominating right now. It's really good to see. It's good to see the movie industry thriving. It's good to see theaters making a lot of money off of this. Probably with all these families, a crap ton of hot dogs and popcorn and drinks being bought, man. And so this is great to see. It's really great to see. Pixar 100% cooked this time. The economy is an excuse for general audience's hatred of originality. I don't think it's an excuse. I mean, until you are my age and you have to actually really pay attention to the money that you save and try to get out of debt and all of these things, that the economy is never an excuse because it is a big deal. It is a big deal. I mean, my wife and I are saving money as much as we can right now because everything's so expensive. And with a house payment and daycare payment, it's not fun. It's not fun. So, unless you experience that, it's hard to comprehend it, if that makes sense. But once you get older and you have to worry about all those things, it will slap you in the face. It will punch you in the face and throw you against a wall. That's what the economy is going to do to you. So, if people don't want to go see Monkey Man or Furiosa because they're trying to save money, I get it. I get it. And I'm a movie guy, but I get it. I absolutely get it. If this wasn't my job, I would not see as many movies as I see, 1000%, because I would want to save that money for sure. Let me rephrase that. Okay. If it was good, there would still be other factors. I mean, yeah, there's always going to be factors beyond saving your money and economy and things like that. But again, if it's not great word of mouth and it's not one of those 5 to 6 movies that they're going to see, it's just not going to make any money. Like Furiosa, that word of mouth was excellent, but it wasn't one of those films that people want to spend their money on. All right. Trevor just got here. Trevor, thanks for joining, my friend. Pizza Roll said, I didn't cry, but I wanted to. I wanted to hold it in because there were too many people. I don't ever hold it in, Pizza Rolls. Who cares? Who cares? You are there, and I say that. But Pizza Rolls, when I was younger, I had the same mentality. I don't want to cry in front of people. Now I'm a sap because I got my baby girl. So, it's easy to cry right now. But yeah, who cares? Let it out, my friend. Let it out. I think we got 2 more super chats that I haven't gotten to yet. So I want to get to those. We got Shape of Soup, channel legend, love Shape of Soup. What's your most unexpectedly entertaining horror movie? I love this question. I think it might be The Perfection. It was all over the place and I loved it. Man, I really didn't, and I know we just talked about it, so it's not really original, but I really didn't think I'd like Pearl as much as I did. I really enjoyed Axe. I thought it was a really fun horror movie, but I thought Pearl looked kind of silly. Because it's just her, and what is she going to do? And is it going to be as good as the first one? And it was better than the first one. But I just didn't expect it to be like that. And now they've got an opportunity with Maxine to really capitalize on this and make it become one of the greatest horror trilogies of all time. And I mean that, because if you look at horror trilogies, how many are there that are great? I mean, there are some out there, but how many are there that are great? And so I think Pearl was such a surprise for me when that came out. Just because I watched that trailer and I said, is it a good idea to do this? Or should they just make like a direct sequel to X? Is it a good idea? It definitely was, because it surprised me. And so, yeah, I would say Pearl would be my most recent example of that. Because I can't say like The Lighthouse or Nope, because I knew they would be good. Or at least I had confidence that they would be good. And I can't say Late Night with the Devil because I had just heard so much hype for Late Night with the Devil. So I'm like, oh yeah, people are saying it's good. It's probably going to be good, right? Pearl, I didn't really hear anything going into it. And so it was such a surprise because that word of mouth never got to me before I saw it. And then you saw the word of mouth. And so now I'm super excited for Maxine. So Shape of Soup is a great question. The Perfection. Did I see The Perfection? Which one is that? And I think I know that's the one you're talking about, where she's on the bus and she plays the instrument. The Perfection. Yeah, that's it. With Allison Williams. Yeah, that was a good one. I had actually heard from a couple of people that it was good. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Allison Williams and Logan Browning. That's a good movie. I like that you brought that up. I haven't heard a lot about that in quite a while. Pizza Rolls. What are some movies that have grown on you with time? Say you were negative on a movie. Now you're very positive. What movies do you have in mind? Well, man, grown on me over time. I mean, even just this year, there have been a couple that have just... I think Hitman, I think I was a little low with my score on Hitman initially, because the more I thought about it and the more I discussed it, I'm like, no, this is actually great. Like, I thought it was really, really good. But then I was like, no, it's actually a really great movie for what it's trying to be. I mean, all time, the ultimate example, and I wasn't negative on it. I wasn't negative. I was positive. But I wasn't in the mind space, the headspace of, this is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. That's Interstellar. Interstellar was a film that I started out, I gave it a really good review. I thought it was a really good movie. It was not close to the level of Inception for me. It was not close to the level of The Dark Knight for me. Now it is. Now it's a film that I feel like if I keep watching it, if I keep enjoying it and loving it on the level that I do, it could even move up my Nolan list. That's how much I love it. And so that is absolutely a film that I am just a massive, massive fan of. And I always have been a fan. but now it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And it's really fun to see that progression. Now, I have a lot of movies that I really liked and don't like as much anymore, or I kind of liked and now I don't like. I think of Thor: Love and Thunder that I enjoyed the first time that I saw it, but then I watched it again, watched it a couple of times, and I said, no, this is not a very good movie. I think of Lightyear. I really enjoyed it the first time I saw it, and I actually still like Lightyear. I like it a lot more than other people. I get you're going to disagree with me. That's fine. I've accepted that. But I have moved a little bit down on it. There have been movies over the years where, you don't really notice some of the flaws if you're having fun with it. And I've already said, you can have fun with a movie with flaws, but sometimes the flaws are so evident that it starts to bug you and it starts to get under your skin. And Thor: Love and Thunder was a movie like that. The more I thought about these moments, the more it just got under my skin. And I think some general audiences see that initial bad word of mouth and they're just like, they hop aboard the train. And so they're going to see those flaws initially that maybe I don't see initially because I didn't really hear bad word of mouth. I'm just like, yeah. But even walking out of Thor: Love and Thunder and giving my initial review, the next day I'm thinking, man, like even before any other reviews were out, because I hadn't posted, I just recorded. I was like, man, maybe I should redo this because that was an issue and I didn't laugh at the goats and I didn't laugh at this moment. So I'm like, no, I'm going to stick with my initial thought. And so I try to be transparent. When I have my initial thoughts, I try to be transparent with you that those are my initial thoughts. But some movies stick with you for like a week or 3 days or 4 days in a bad way, and it starts to move down a little bit. A movie that a lot of you all are going to disagree with me on, Babylon. Damien Chazelle. I thought it was pretty good. Kind of liked it. It's okay. Now, the more I thought about it, the more I disliked it. The more I thought about it, the more jumbled, messy, long, boring it felt to me. Now, there are some standout moments. The obvious sequence that everybody posts on Twitter constantly, all the time, an amazing moment. The behind-the-scenes filmmaking stuff, awesome. I love that. As a film fan, I love that. But part of me feels like that movie's just a mess. And so I have really, really moved down on Babylon over the last year or two. Just like it's not, and film Twitter loves it. Letterboxd loves it. I think it's got like a 4 or something, whatever. I'm just not a big fan. Not a big fan. So it's unfortunate, but yeah, I move down on those movies quite often. Yeah, I don't think Love and Thunder is the worst one. I get it if you do, because it's not good. But I still think The Dark World's just so boring. It's just so freaking boring, man. At least Love and Thunder's entertaining. It's dumb and it's a mess, but at least it's kind of entertaining. Love and Thunder or Dark World, I can't stay awake, man. I can't stay awake. She-Hulk is my least favorite MCU thing. It's my least favorite. I do not like She-Hulk at all. I think it's bad. But it's kind of fun a little bit. Even my worst MCU stuff, I think, can be fun. But the ones that are just boring, they're boring. I'm sorry. I know you guys like Incredible Hulk. I get it. There is an amazing sequence at the end, and it's a movie that I defended for years. For years. Years and years and years. And I said, you guys are sleeping on The Incredible Hulk. It's a good movie. And then I rewatched it after about 6 years, just a year and a half ago, and no, I'm sorry. It is one of the worst love stories I've ever seen. It is an atrocious love story between he and Miss Ross. Yeesh. Bad. The dialogue between those two is atrocious. And it's Edward Norton. And he's giving a good performance, but the dialogue that he's given with her is atrocious. And that takes up a huge chunk of the movie. Yeah, the ending's cool, but that's it. And that's all people ever talk about is the ending. That's it. What about the first hour and 20 minutes? Can we talk about how bad that was? It's so bad. And so, yeah, I think Incredible Hulk is a movie that I've really turned on over the years because I went from it's okay to really good to now it's bad. If you haven't rewatched it in a few years, give it a rewatch. You'll enjoy the last 20 minutes. So maybe that's good. I like The Incredible Hulk. I did like The Incredible Hulk. I'm sorry. If people don't like the dialogue in Love and Thunder, man, you're going to watch Incredible Hulk now with that love story and just no chemistry, by the way, between those two. No chemistry. She's like sleepwalking through the entire movie. She's sleepwalking. Better than Ang Lee's Hulk. I don't really remember Ang Lee's Hulk, which is probably not a good thing. But yeah, Incredible Hulk is it's not good. It's not. I thought it was good 3 years ago. I thought it was good. When I was younger, I thought it was good. But now, I guess that I'm older, I'm more stubborn, and I'm like, when chemistry between these two is so bad, and the dialogue is just atrocious. I mean, it's atrocious. It is the worst love story in the MCU, 1,000%. It's atrocious dialogue. Hulk 2003 is a good movie for me. Yeah, I got to see that one again. I have not seen that one in a long time. Long time. It's been 12, 14 years. Yeah, the last fight's amazing. And that's why I defended it for so long, because I'm like, I just focused on that 25-minute portion of the movie, and I said, yeah, it's great. It's great. The ending's great. That version of Abomination is 10 times better than the Abomination we have now. But again, that's the last 20 minutes, and the rest is bad. The Incredible Hulk is better than X-Men Origins. Yeah, probably. Origins is a mess too. But Origins I think is more fun than the Incredible Hulk. But it's a mess. They're both a mess. Best romantic chemistry in a movie. Maybe the Before trilogy. Yeah, I'd say the Before trilogy. I'd say that's the best. Because it's a lot of. It's really based in and around their conversations. It's based in and around. The movie's built off of their chemistry. It genuinely built off of their chemistry. So, yeah, I would say the Before trilogy. But shout out to our young couple in Sing Street when he goes off with her on the boat at the end. I really like their chemistry for a younger high school couple. Because, again, it's hard to do high school chemistry in a movie because most of the time I get done with the movie, I'm like, yeah, they're gonna break up in 5 years. But that's one of the few times. That's one of the few, because most of the time they do. That's one of the few times where I watched it and I'm like, man, they could end up together. Like they could end up together. And so I really like that. But yeah, the Before trilogy is just, that is the look up chemistry in the dictionary, and you're gonna find some test tubes, and you're gonna find Ethan Hawke, and you're gonna find both of those. It's spectacular. Let's see. Hulk 2003 almost put me to sleep when I was a kid. Okay, yeah. See, I enjoyed it as a kid. But now I feel like if I watch it, it's not going to hold up. Hulk versus Abomination is one of the best fights in the MCU. I completely agree. That's why the movie's so disappointing, because the rest is bad. How was the Nosferatu trailer? Amazing. Brandon, absolutely spectacular. I loved it. I loved every minute, every moment of the Nosferatu trailer. Just really good. Really, really good. Hey, guys, we got 73 people here. We got 61 likes. Could we get it to 70 today? Can we get it to 70 today? Yeah, let's do it, man. It's great. Let's see if we can get it to 70 today. Man, thank you guys for being here. Seriously, I can't thank you enough. Hey, and I had somebody say a while ago, it's too far back, but whoever it was, please let me know. Somebody said they rated and reviewed our podcast over on Apple. So if you guys do Apple or Spotify, either one's going to help. But let's go see how many ratings Movie Mode has right now over on Apple. Let's see. The Movie Mode pod. So we have, oh my gosh, how many episodes are we at? Official episodes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes of the Movie Mode podcast. We have 8 ratings. 8 ratings. Paul from California said, great podcast. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. So, guys, here's where we are. Somebody gave us a 1 star. Somebody gave us a 1 star. Yeah, please don't do that. Look, if you honestly think it's a 1 star, that's fine. But don't do it out of the fact of spamming. If you guys want to go over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and just drop a rating, it's pretty easy. 5 stars, or it doesn't have to be 5. Doesn't have to be 5. Please be honest. But don't do 1 star for the sake of doing 1 star, because we got it everywhere at the same time. Spotify, Spreaker, and Apple all at the same time. So I know it was the same dude, which is whatever. To be fair, my wife gave us 5 stars because I told her to. But yeah, if you guys want to go over to Apple Podcasts, drop us 5 stars. We got 8 ratings. I would love to see what we could get that up to today. I think it would be super cool. So I don't know. If we had 20 ratings, I think that would be huge for us. Because the higher rating you have, apparently, and the more reviews, I genuinely believe that pushes us up the rankings of Apple. So yeah, the YouTube channel is a big deal, man. The YouTube, you haven't hit it big time before you have a dedicated hater. Yes, Team Rainbow, you know it. But yeah, so the YouTube channel is a big deal, man. If you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, that would be amazing, because we're also going to do live streams over on the Movie Mode Pod YouTube channel. But we're really focused on the audio feed right now. So if we could get some more ratings on the audio feed, dude, it'd be freaking awesome. And I guess Spotify too. I don't have Spotify. I listen to movie scores. So I'm weird. I love music, but I listen to movie scores, so I don't have Spotify. I just play YouTube videos. I got Hans Zimmer on here. I've got Johan Johansson on here. So I don't know, man. My wife makes fun of me. She's like, why are you listening to the score for Dune Part 2 instead of this new country song? I'm like, honey, because it's Hans Zimmer. All right. What do you want me to do? We've got Goranson on the way to vacation. So come on. That's what I do. And she's kind of gotten into that too. Don't tell anybody, but she's kind of into movie scores now. So I think we're working her up a little bit, getting her more into the movie score mode. And hey, guys, listen, 82 people here right now. Hans Zimmer is going on tour, or maybe he's already on tour. He's going to be in Atlanta later on this year. And like, I don't know, man. I really want to go. We've already got some trips planned. I'm going to 2 Steelers games this year. I might be going to Fantastic Fest with, that was my announcement. Yeah, I didn't talk about that. We'll talk about that here in a second. But I really want to go see Hans Zimmer in Atlanta. So if you guys get tickets to Hans Zimmer in Atlanta and I'm there, please say hello. Please say hello. I would love to say hi to you guys. It's just so cool. Like the idea of a Hans Zimmer concert. Oh, it's so cool. Nick, we got Nick. What's going on, Nick? I love following Nick over on Twitter. Typing my rating review now. Honestly thought I already sent one. Podcast is honestly amazing. Nick, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Hey, the invite's going to be out there. I mean, we haven't started with guests, but one of these days I want to have to get you on the pod, Nick. Thank you so much for your rating and review. I would love to get, Ryan and I are doing the podcast, me and him. It's awesome, but we're going to have some bonus episodes, maybe audio exclusive, probably not even on the YouTube channel, but we're going to have bonus episodes where I'd love to get other YouTubers and critics on. And so Nick is a great follow over on Twitter. We've got countless people over on Twitter that I would love to get on the show. And heck, I've even told some people that are a heavy part of the Patreon, the YouTube Patreon community, that maybe one day we can get them on as a guest. So obviously your Sean's going to get Sean on here one day, going to get Mr. Flickinger on here one day, maybe a 3C Films one day over on the Movie Mode podcast. But yeah, some Twitter critic, or some people that I follow on Twitter that are movie critics as well. It'd be cool. Matt Neglia is somebody that I follow. I would love to do that. Put it all on YouTube's, yo. Yeah, I love YouTube, but we're going to have some audio exclusives just to get some people over to the audio feeds. So maybe special guests would be super cool. I know Sean already said he was up for it. I was texting him last night about possibly going to Fantastic Fest. So if I do go to Fantastic Fest, which is in Austin, Texas, the plan is to make it maybe a Sean Chandler, Cody Leach, possibly Zach Pope type of thing. All of us hanging out, doing Fantastic Fest together. That would be really fun. I've heard great things. I did New York for a couple years. New York was great, and I loved it. But where I've got a baby girl now, and New York is so spread out over multiple weeks, I would like to do one that's a little more contained. And so Sean's already extended the invite. We've already talked about it. I haven't talked to Cody or Zach yet, but I'm sure they'd be cool if I showed up. I've never met Zach in person, but Cody is a beast, and I love Cody. So I think it would be just the best time. Just the best time, man. Going with all the folks, and then just a month later, I'll be doing something really special with John Flickinger, Mr. The 3C Films, Mr. The Flick Pick. that's something that's already announced, but I'll let you guys figure out what that is. I'll be there when you bring 3C Films to the podcast. Yes, of course. 3C's my boy. I'm going to bring 3C over to the podcast 100%. He's already said he was up for it. Cody's the GOAT. Yeah, Cody Leach. Yeah, I admittedly, I was a little nervous when I was going to meet Cody. I'm like, man, is he going to be as intimidating as he is in his videos? Because he's pretty intimidating sometimes. I'm not intimidating, admittedly. Like, I go to the gym, I lift weights. I'm not intimidating. You don't look at me and say, oh, that guy's intimidating. You say, that guy's a nerd, which I love. That's what I want. Cody Leach was one of the most grounded, down-to-earth human beings I've ever talked to. And he is just as much of a GOAT in real life as he is a GOAT on his YouTube channel. And that's the best kind of person. And so, yeah, I hope I get to spend some time with them. Again, got a baby girl. We'll have to find some babysitters. We'll have to find some people to take care of her while the wife works. But if we can get that all squared away, Fantastic Fest. And I'm hoping, here's what I'm hoping for. I'm going to shoot my shot right now and hope it happens. Fantastic Fest, good for genre movies, occasionally a comic book movie or two, mostly horror. That is right before the Joker comes out. And I'm not saying, I'm just saying. It is possible Joker 2 could premiere there, or at least be there if it's already premiered. So I think there's a chance. They've got those mystery movies. I think there's a shot Joker 2 is going to be at that fest. So that right there is the reason for me to go. Joker 2. That right there is the reason, man. 3C is great. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're the best. I'd be honored. Of course, Nick. I would love to have some of you, some of my great Twitter follows, man. I follow so many. Just really fun hearing their thoughts, seeing different perspectives, different viewpoints, different ideas. Even if I completely disagree, and I'm not even talking about you, Nick, even if I completely disagree with some of these people on Twitter, man, I love seeing them and hearing them and seeing each person's individual, what they respond to in a movie, man. It's so fun. It's so fun. That's what Twitter's good for. You may say it's X. I say it's Twitter. Tomato, you know. Will you still make time for Megalopolis after Fantastic Fest? Yes, 100%. 100%. Megalopolis will be, I know it's around that time. That'll absolutely be. And who knows? Maybe Sean gets a critic screening, a press screening, gets us all in there in Texas. So that'd be super fun. You talked about how you would have taken your daughter to see Inside Out 2 had she been older. So what are some films that you look forward to showing her as she grows up? Team Rainbow. Great question. Beautiful. You're going to make me cry. We've also got another super chat too. I'll get to that here in just a second. But yeah, man, Pixar, the Iron Giant, some of those early DreamWorks, actually Iron Giant, we may want to wait on that, but some of those early DreamWorks films, we'll wait on Shrek till she gets a little older. How to Train Your Dragon, though, that's a great one. The Disney classics, your Aladdin's, your Lion Kings, your Little Mermaids, which I think she would love. She's got a Little Mermaid toy right now. She's actually got like a whole plethora of Disney bath toys. So we've got Princess and the Frog. We got all the Disney princesses all gathered around, and it's really cool. And she's already becoming a Disney fan. She loves her Minnie Mouse toy. She loves her Mickey Mouse toy. And so Disney's going to be hopefully good Disney, classic Disney. It's hopefully going to be a big part of her childhood. But yeah, the Pixar's, Toy Story, Inside Out, going to devastate her with Up. I got to devastate her early. That way she knows what to expect when she gets older. Introduce her to Studio Ghibli. Yeah, maybe when she's a little older. I think the themes are probably beyond when I would start her watching movies. But as she gets older, absolutely Studio Ghibli. Princess and the Frog. I think she would love Princess and the Frog. I really do. That's one of my wife's favorite Disney movies. She's a big New Orleans fan. My wife is. I think she would absolutely. That's one of her bath toys, and so I think she would absolutely love Princess and the Frog. Really good movie, by the way. Forbid Illumination. I will forbid it. She will not experience Illumination. No, Despicable Me's cute. I'll show her those movies. Nick asks, how well do you see Twisters doing? Nick, I genuinely think, and I said this on the pod this week in this week's show, I genuinely think Twisters is going to do well. I do. I think there is something about that first movie. When these films premiere on cable over and over and over and over, or show on cable over and over. There is something about the first Twister that is in the zeitgeist, and I think has been for quite some time, but we have to unlock it. And if the sequel is good, now we saw this very similar thing with Independence Day. Independence Day was great. The second one came out, word of mouth was atrocious, got horrible reviews, didn't do well. Also, the cast wasn't exciting enough, right? I think this cast right now with Glenn Powell is exciting enough for Twisters to do well on its own. But then being a sequel to the first Twister, that's a movie that was so relevant at the time, is definitely relevant this year with all these tornadoes. So Mother Nature's doing a great job of promoting this movie, by the way. And it just feels like a summer blockbuster. So a lot of it does depend on the word of mouth, whether it keeps performing well. I think it's going to have a good opening, but if it keeps performing well, but I'm telling you guys, even if it has like a 50 or 60 on Rotten Tomatoes, say a 60, I think we're talking a bigger blockbuster box office movie this summer. I genuinely believe that. And I think it finishes in the top half of this summer's blockbusters in terms of revenue. I genuinely believe that. So I think it's going to do well. I think people are actually sleeping on how well it's going to do, hinging on, just hanging on by a thread, how good it actually is. Because quality is the most important thing. Inside Out 2 would not be doing this well if it was not a great, or at least a really good sequel. Nick says, I initially predicted Joker 2 being the biggest movie of the year. May still happen, but wow, in between Inside Out 2 and we got Wicked. Oh my God, Mufasa, guys, I forgot about Mufasa. I knew Deadpool Wolverine. Wicked will do very well. And Mufasa. Wow. Oh my goodness, I forgot about that. And Wicked, which is going to do great. It may not happen. Going to be a barn burner for that top spot. I completely agree. Inside Out 2 is right now leading the pack. It is leading the pack because I don't know if Mufasa and Wicked can do 100 million plus second weekend. I don't know if they can do that. I don't know. So Inside Out 2 is leading the pack. So right now that's my prediction for number one, but you got that right with Wicked, Mufasa. I mean, those are two movies that are going to compete. Deadpool and Wolverine is going to get close. I don't think it overtakes Inside Out 2. Maybe because of that R rating, but it's going to hit a Billy. It's going to hit a Billy. Yeah, Venom 3 will do well too, but I don't think that'll hit $1 billion. Inside Out 2 is now at $724 million. My goodness. Wicked could flop. It could absolutely flop. It doesn't look great, to be honest with you, but who knows? It could do well. What is your favorite under-talked about horror movie? Man. I really like The Descent, but, I have seen some more people talk about that one lately. Let's see, what year did that come out? That was, I want to say 2010, The Descent. Oh, 2005. Boy, oh boy, Neil Marshall. I can't believe it came out in 2005, man. That's crazy. The Descent's a really under-talked about horror movie. I watched this. I remember the exact moment I watched this. I was at my friend's house. He had his girlfriend. I had my girlfriend, fiance at the time. Can't remember. Don't tell Madison I said that. Just bloody, claustrophobic in that tunnel. I mean, just like, are you kidding me right now? How have I been sleeping on this? And I believe a big part of me watching that was your Stuckman's, a lot of recommendations across the board. But man, The Descent is a bloody good time. It's a bloody good time. If you've never seen it, Neil Marshall is a good director. Now, Neil Marshall's a good director. I believe he also went on to do the Hellboy movie. Yep. Went on to do the Hellboy movie. That's not good. And so I was excited because of The Descent. But if you want to go watch a really good horror film, please go check that out. Oh, Shape of Soup with a banger. Absolute banger, man. What a good, yes. I love Haunt, man. Let's go check out Haunt. See what year that came out. It was recently. 2019. Yeah, man. What a good movie. Go check out Haunt. Brian Wood, Scott Beck are our two directors here. Katie Stevens in the lead. Yeah, man. Now they went on to do, Scott Beck went on to do 65, which wasn't a very good movie, but Haunt's a really good movie. Somebody said Dr. Sleep. Yes. Kali Wally, Dr. Sleep. Jacob, Dr. Sleep. Tremors. Tremors is great. Yeah. Oculus is a banger. That's a good one, man. What's the Netflix one that I always talk about with the huge creature? And I can never remember the name. Oh, man. The Netflix movie with the big creature in the forest, and it's got the antlers, and it's got the little hands hanging down, and I never remember the name. Is it The Woods? I don't remember. The Ritual. Yes, thank you, Kali Wally. I never remember the name of that. That is a great underrated horror movie on Netflix with a phenomenally designed creature, which is just, haunted my dreams. It just haunted my absolute dreams when I watched that movie. So if you have not seen The Ritual on Netflix, please go check it out. Really haunting story, slower paced, but very well paced. And somebody said, I'm thinking of ending things. Yeah, I guess that was kind of a trippy horror movie. That's kind of a trippy horror movie. Lights Out is good. I agree. Lights Out is good. The Platform, yes, really enjoyed The Platform. I think we got a sequel to that coming out this year. I watched Opera for the first time. That was an amazing slasher. Have I seen this, guys? I don't think I have. I love a good recommendation. Opera, 1987. No, I have not. Dario Argento. Ian Charleston. I haven't heard that name in forever. Yeah, this looks good. This looks really good. Okay, that's on the watch list now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's a great one. The Ritual is so entertaining, scary, intense, and filled with great characters and intrigue. I completely agree. That's a great review, South Park Shorts. That's a great review. Did you like The Babysitter? Yeah, I thought the first one was pretty fun. I didn't really like it. But yeah, I'll say it was pretty good. It was okay. It was fun. I had fun with the first one. The second one, not really, but I had fun with the first one. There's something about it that's kind of original. The Descent is my favorite horror movie. Very nice. Very nice. I love that. It's a really good movie. Summer of '84. Yeah, that's a good. Come on, guys. You got some great recommendations today. But also some great super chats, and I don't want to miss Will Heron's super chat today. What are your top 5? Woo! Will! Let's go. We're talking Scorsese. Let's go. Top 5 Scorsese movies. Let's go. Let's see. I think I've got a list on Letterboxd. Let's go to the list here. We got a little Letterboxd list. 2013 Scorsese's top 10. Here we go. My top 5. So some movies that are outside the top 5 looking in. And I'd love to see some of your favorite Scorsese films. Outside looking in. Taxi Driver, not in the top 5. The Irishman, not in the top 5. Killers of the Flower Moon, not in the top 5. Casino, not in the top 5. Gangs of New York and Shutter Island, all bangers. Love those movies, okay? But my top 5. The King of Comedy. I love The King of Comedy. This is an original one of, and you could say this about Taxi Driver as well, one of De Niro's greatest performances ever. There's something about as Rupert when he is on stage trying to gain and garner that level of success that is riveting to me. And Taxi Driver is on the level of that, but I have always slightly preferred just the story. I think I gravitate a little more towards the story of King of Comedy. Number 4 is The Wolf of Wall Street. The Wolf of Wall Street is Leo's best performance today. It absolutely is. Look, I loved The Revenant. He deserved that Oscar, maybe, probably, but Wolf of Wall Street's where it's at. It's a fascinating true story. It's a very sexually explicit and R-rated true story, but it's a fascinating true story. So yeah, that had to be my top 5. Number 3, Raging Bull. I love a good freaking sports movie. I guess it is a sports movie, but it's also an introspective character study combined with the sports movie that has some of the most riveting boxing scenes you will ever see. I think the choice to do it in black and white is absolutely phenomenal, and I just love it from start to finish. Number 2 is The Departed. I love some Departed. All right, you got Mark Wahlberg's best performance. You got Matt Damon's. one of his best performances. You got one of Leo's best performances. It's a stacked Jack Nicholson steals the show constantly type of mobster movie, and it's one of the most riveting mobster movies I've ever seen, but it's not as riveting as my favorite mobster movie of all time, as my number one Scorsese film, as a top movie ever. I would say there's a distinction between my best list and my greatest list. My best list, Austin has biases. My greatest list, these are the greatest films I believe that have ever been created. Goodfellas is on both. Goodfellas is on both. In the top portion of both. It's a phenomenal film. I do not have an issue with the movie. There are a few films that have ever been made that I do not have an issue with. Okay? That is one of them. That is one of them. 12 Angry Men is another that I do not have an issue with. There are no problems. That is one of them. And so I would say Goodfellas is far and away my favorite Scorsese film. But again, when you get into that top five, it's just so hard to distinguish. The fact that I didn't put Taxi Driver in there is crazy to me. It's crazy. And so let's see what you guys say. Wolf of Wall Street is a masterpiece. Yeah, Casino is better than Wolf of Wall Street. Wow. Okay, I like that. Not a hot take, a good take, though. I appreciate that. I still think about Shutter Island to this day. Yes, that's a very, very good one. I just, that might be a little low down on my list, to be honest with you. Silence is very good. Yes, Silence doesn't crank the top 10, but it's a great film. It's a great film. Are you going to review Kalki? Yes, I am. This week, coming out this week. So be on the lookout for that. We got Nick's list. Here we go. Goodfellas, 1, Departed, 2, Wolf of Wall Street, 3, Color of Money. I like that. Very nice. 4, and Taxi Driver, 5. That's a heck of a list. I love that list. Most underrated Scorsese film, After Hours, way more socially relevant today. I'll have to give that one a rewatch. I watched that freshman year of college, and it's hard to believe it's been a while since freshman year of college, so I have to give that one a rewatch. But I really enjoyed it. Austin, did you see? Oh, we'll talk about that here in a second. Goodfellas, totally number one for sure. There's no debate in my head. My last rewatch a couple months back made me put Goodfellas in my top 100. Let's go. I love that. Good decision. Taxi Driver. There we go. Tarantino or Scorsese, who's got the better top 5? I would say Scorsese. Scorsese. But again, you're going to be hard pressed to find somebody that says any other director can compete with Inglourious Bastards and Django Unchained and Pulp Fiction. And I mean, his entire top 5 is amazing. Scorsese's one of those directors, though. I would put him ahead. Love After Hours. After Hours is great. Okay, I'm going to have to give After Hours a rewatch. I really am. Last Temptation's underrated. That's another one I would love to rewatch. As someone with a religious background, growing up in a very religious family, I think that would be a fun one to go and rewatch. Silence is very underrated with Andrew Garfield and Liam Neeson. Yes, for sure. Peeping Tom is also a great slasher. Going back to slashers, that doesn't get much love when it is the OG. Yeah, I've heard good things about that one. So that's actually, I believe it's already on my watch list. It's a good one. It's a good one to pull. Let's see here. I think Goodfellas every time when I'm slicing garlic. Yes, for sure. I love that. Man. We've got so many good things in here. We got another super chat, though. I want to make sure I get to it before we end this stream today. Joseph, what's going on, Joseph? Joseph Curtis. Have you ever thought about watching The Chosen? Yes, Joseph. I've seen the first seasons. It's very good. Again, as someone who grew up with a religious family, I'm fascinated by religion. I think it's some of the best stories ever told. I think The Chosen is absolutely outstanding, at least the season that I've seen. Now, I haven't watched the other seasons. I am very behind, but I love what I've seen. I would love to keep going with it, continue. Also, Dune Part 2 is my favorite film of the year so far. Second would be Sing Sing. Joseph, I got to see that movie, man. I'm so excited for that. Sing Sing is one of those that could be in my my top 10 at the end of the year. I am very excited for it. I'm excited for that performance. I'm excited to see if it is in the Oscar conversation at the end of the year, because right now it is one of those movies I think could be nominated for Best Picture. Now, that's an interesting discussion. Are there movies that have come out this year that are going to be in that conversation? I don't know anything about Kinds of Kindness yet. I doubt it. It doesn't seem like that type of movie, but Dune Part 2 challengers, 2 films that I think could be in that conversation towards the end of the year. Sing Sing, one I'm looking forward to. That's going to be in that conversation, I believe, at the end of the year. Let's go look at that entire cast, Joseph. You got me curious now. Now, it is one that I think I predicted early on. Let's see, Sing Sing. for let's see, Greg Quitter, is that his name, as the director? For Coleman Domingo to get an Oscar nomination. But let's look at the rest of this cast here. Paul Raci from Sound of Metal. Let's go. He was phenomenal in Sound of Metal, so that's exciting. Clarence Macklin as himself. Okay, all right. So it's not a crazy cast here. It's really just Coleman Domingo and Paul Raci and Sean San Jose. I'm not sure who that is. So, all right, man, let's see what this is. And here's the premise of Sing Sing, by the way. Divine G, imprisoned at Sing Sing for a crime he didn't commit, finds a purpose by acting in a theater group with other incarcerated men. I love this. I love this premise. I love the look of this movie. I love the Letterboxd rating. I am so excited to see this. I am so freaking excited to see this, to see if it cracks. My top movies of the year. I saw a few episodes from The Chosen, thought it was pretty good, but I need to go back and watch the rest of it. Me too. I'm with you there. Oh, and Joseph, let me make sure I got the rest here. Doom Part 2 is my favorite film of the year. Whoop, and Sing Sing. You got to go see it. So I'm excited. What's the release date on Sing Sing, by the way? I'm not sure when that's coming out. Let's see if I can check IMDb really quick for you guys, just because we talked about it. Sing Sing. Sing, not Sing from Illumination. It's Sing Sing. August 2nd. Oh, that's pretty soon. Okay. That's very soon. I'm going to see Sing Sing in the Chinese theater when I vacation to LA. Oh, very cool. Very cool, Nicholas. That's exciting. I love doing that, man. When I'm in New York, I always try to find a movie that's playing a limited release at some of those absolutely gorgeous theaters. And Brandon is excited for Terrifier 3. Me too. I'm very excited. All right. Listen, guys, we've been going for an hour and 30 minutes here. This has been an amazing live stream. Got to go wake the baby up. That's what we're doing. First of all, I want to say thank you for the 10 super chats today, man, for all the love and support on this channel you all have left. It's been amazing. Evan Hansen, Andrew Garcia, TJT Review, Shape of Soup, Rocky McFly, actually Shape of Soup twice, Pizza Rolls, South Park Shorts, Will Heron, as always, asking the great question, and Joseph Curtis. Go follow Joseph Curtis over on Instagram. Great channel over there. And yeah, guys, I think that's it for today, man. We've had some amazing... Oh, no, we got Joe! We got Joseph again! Coming in with I told y'all, if we get super chats, we're going to keep this going. Joseph Curtis came in again with super chat. Thank you for your support, Joseph. I interviewed the cast at SIF Seattle. Oh, of Sing Sing. Oh, very cool. Lovely people. Some people were playing themselves, went to prison, and came to tell their story. Beautiful. So that's probably why, Joseph, some of those cast members didn't have any previous credits over on IMDb and Letterboxd when I was looking. So that makes a lot of sense, man. Thank you for telling me that. And kind of the idea of people who have been there and they're playing themselves. I mean, that's cool. And so that sounds like a really special type of project. I love those movies that blend reality with fiction and they combine it in such a way. Yeah, that's cool. I'm very excited for this movie. And Coleman Domingo, yeah, I'm always rooting for him because he's always giving good performances, but it sounds like this could be something really special. And so I hope it's something really special. And I'm going to be on the lookout for it. I'm going to be in July around Washington, D.C. in that area. So I'm going to be on the lookout for it. Maybe one of those smaller theaters, more limited release type things. Guys, I am really, any advice for starting college? I love this question. Yeah, just know that you're going to go through a lot of changes in that first year, the way that you operate, the way that your life moves and flows, and the way that you make friends and things like that. But don't be afraid to, and not go out and have fun and that type of thing, but don't be afraid to live it up while you're there and be in the moment, be present every single day. There are going to be days where you don't want to get out of bed because you don't want to go to class. But in 5 years, you're going to look back and say, man, I wish I would have, because I say that sometimes, I wish I would have made that moment more special, or went to that thing that I was invited to, or showed up to that party that I should have showed up to. So live it up, be safe. Most importantly, be safe in everything that you do, but have a blast, because that's what college is all about. It's about the experience. The classes suck. So admittedly, the school part of it stinks, but the experience is what it's all about. And as long as you remember to safety first, kids. But you remember to stay safe, and it's all in good fun, that kind of mentality, then I think you're going to have a great time, Nicholas. So I'm excited for you. I hope everything goes well. I really do. So what are you watching next week, fam? I think that's a great way to end this off. This week, next week, tomorrow, whatever you want to phrase it as, is going to be an amazing week. We got Kalki, we've got Quiet Place, we got Horizon, we've got The Bear. All four of those things I'm going to be reviewing heavily on this channel. Tonight is the finale of Smiling Friends. So we got to be watching the finale of Smiling Friends, man. I love me some Smiling Friends. Maybe I'll do an episode, best episode of the season video, some sort of thing tomorrow. I think that would be kind of fun because haven't covered Smiling Friends yet. It's one of my favorite shows on TV. Otherwise, man, it's going to be a big week. House of the Dragon tonight. Probably won't do a review on it, but definitely going to watch it, talk about it. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll see my House of the Dragon reaction tonight, and I'll try to have that as soon as the episode ends for me. All right, y'all. Thanks for being here. To everybody who went today and left Movie Mode, our podcast, a rating over on Apple, Spotify, all those things, man. Thank you so much. You don't know how much that means to Ryan and I, man. We are spending every ounce of our free time on this podcast because we want to make it a success, and we want to give ourselves an outlet for more long-form content. I know I have these live streams and they're amazing, but I think a podcast is just the best place to do that. And so if you haven't checked out Movie Mode Pod, we got our new episode on YouTube now, and the audio feeds, Apple and Spotify, man. To everybody who went and rated, I'm going to be checking out, reading those reviews right after this. So thank you all for that. It means a lot. It really does. All right, guys, you're awesome. Ooh, Acolyte. Wait, baby, hold on. Last weekend, I got to experience Return of the King for the first time in the theater. Easily one of my favorite theater experiences now, Kali Wally. I wanted to so bad. If we didn't have that wedding and I wasn't working on these wedding videos, I absolutely would have. My friend Sam and I both, we do our wedding business together. We're going to go see that in the theater. So I am very jealous. Funny enough, the wife and I are doing our Lord of the Rings extended edition rewatches together right now, and 4 hours well spent. 4 hours well spent. And I would say that theatrical experience was truly spectacular. So that's, yeah, man, it's just so good, Golly Wally. It is so good. Return of the Kings, we're talking perfect movie. That thing could have went on for 5 hours. It would have been perfect. It's the perfect blockbuster. It's the perfect epic. It's the perfect fantasy film. Perfection across the board. And I love every minute of it. So thank you guys. Kali Wally, thank you so much for the super chat. Last second super chat, my friend. I appreciate it. You don't know how much I appreciate it. Tomorrow may cover Smiling Friends, but this week's going to be crazy, man. Oh my God, it's going to be crazy. So much stuff to watch. So much in the theater, at home. It's going to be great. Stay tuned to the channel, man. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks for being here. Awkward wave while I drink my protein drink. All right, now awkward wave. Bye, guys. Bye. All right, that's it. That's all.